What's up? It's Chase with Energy to Conquer. Today is day 7. Check us out, energytoconquer.com. Like, subscribe, follow, whatever it is you do, look us up. You can find us. This is my 100-day experimental journey to get more energy. So it's a 100-day challenge that I'm doing myself, just to see what works and what doesn't work. Cut through all the BS that's out there. So definitely, if you're interested in more energy, follow along on that. But today is day 7. Today is a rest day for me. I have done the Jim Stepani workout. These are hard workouts. I've done them for 6 days. Today, 7 days of rest day. But all these workouts have been brutal, and they're hour and a half to 2 hours on all these workouts. So today is a much deserved rest day. My muscles are tired, but I feel great. But I need a rest day. I can tell I need a rest day. So I wanted to talk about today is that, the mental side of energy, and that's something that doesn't get talked about a lot, because usually everybody's selling you nutrition. They're trying to sell you a workout program, trying to sell you supplements, they're trying to sell you a diet plan. They're selling you something, right? But a lot of people, there's not a lot of discussion about the mental side of energy. And one of the things that's going to make you feel better and have more energy is honoring the commitments that you make to yourself. So today is day 7. It's a rest day, but I feel great, and I feel great about myself because I stuck to these hard workouts for 7 days. And it's the same thing with a cheat meal on a diet. So if your diet allows cheat meals, some diets do, some diets don't, but if your diet allows cheat meal, especially if you're carb cycling, whatever you're doing, when you get to that cheat meal, it feels good because you earned it, right? It doesn't mean you have to go completely off the rails and destroy your whole week in one meal or one day, but as long as you use some sense. But you feel good when you get that cheat meal. It's almost like satisfaction, because you have earned it. On the other side of that, when you cheat on your diet that's not a planned cheat meal, you feel guilty, right? And so that's a negative energy in your mind, and you're beating yourself up. You've got regret, you've got all this stuff, and that stuff will drain you. But when you're doing it and you put into work, you feel good about yourself, and when you feel good about yourself, it gives you energy. And there's a lot of people that walks around beat down with low energy because they're constantly beating themselves up because they don't keep the commitments that they make to themselves. Like, just don't even worry about the commitments to other people. If you don't keep the commitments that you make to yourself, then you're constantly letting yourself down, and you're constantly going to be kicking yourself. You're constantly, all these things, and all this baggage and drama and just everything that you don't want comes along with it. And so it wreaks havoc mentally, and that stuff will drain you. So Ed Mylett talks about, there's an interview he did with the Passionate Few from, I don't know, it's probably 3 years ago or so, or more, I don't know. But it's an older interview on the Passionate Few, Ed Mylett, but he said something that keyed in for me, and I've heard him say it since, and I've heard Andy Frisella talk about it on MSCEO, and then the 75 Hard program, because that's a big component of the 75 Hard program, is building self-confidence and self-esteem. Like, how you do that is through honoring the commitments that you make to yourself, and that's how you feel good about yourself. And most people don't honor those commitments, and Ed Mylett goes on to talk about that he didn't have much self-confidence in himself, especially starting out. But one thing he's noticed, that the people with the most self-confidence is the people that's worked to get it, right? And so what he's saying, is just a brief segment in that podcast. I'll try to find it and maybe link it, but if not, you can look it up. But what he's saying is, if you want more confidence, just get good at honoring the commitments that you make to yourself. So when you say, I'm going to stick to my diet, or I'm going to stick to this workout plan, and I'm going to do this for 4 weeks, like, when you get done with that 4 weeks, if you stuck to it and did everything you were supposed to do, you're going to be on a high, like mentally, a mental high, a natural high, right? And I think a lot of drugs is probably trying to simulate that to some extent. But you're going to be, I guess, having your own endorphin release. I don't know what the biochemistry of it is, but you know, you're going to be experiencing that, and it's going to give you energy, and you're going to be fired up because of it. So that's just what I wanted to share with you today. Is like today's rest day, but it feels good, and I feel great. You know, my energy's up today, and I'm fired up today because I know I put in the work to get here, and I feel good about myself. Now, if I had missed 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, I'd be beat. I wouldn't necessarily be beating myself up mentally, but I would feel like shit. Like I'm past like kicking myself around mentally. I've been at this for a long time. Like that's not going to get me anywhere. But I would still, like deep down inside, know that I failed, and I would feel disappointed. And you know, sometimes you're going to fall off, and that's one thing. But you know, we're all going to fall at some point. We just got to get back on it and get back going, because the quicker we get back going, the quicker we're going to feel better about ourselves for keeping these commitments. But if you're falling off, you know, every day or two, or if you're doing it for 2 days and then fall off and completely, you're going to feel like shit. But if you keep piling up those little failures like that and never actually complete anything, it's going to weigh you down, and you're going to have so much weight and so much negative energy. Like, I ain't talking about no whatever spiritual crazy energy, anything. I'm just talking about physical energy to approach your day, mental clarity, that type of energy. But you know, if you keep stacking these things up, where you start and don't finish, start and don't finish, start and don't finish, where you make a commitment to and you don't honor it, make a commitment, you don't honor it, like that stuff builds, and it just kind of, it destroys your self-esteem, your self-confidence, and then you've got all this negative energy in your mind and negative thoughts. And even if it's just on a subconscious level, like you know that you don't keep your commitments, and so whenever you commit to doing something, your subconscious mind is kind of saying bullshit. Like, but those things are energy costs that people don't even realize. And more important to that, it's confidence and it's self-esteem issues that people don't even have a clue about. The average person doesn't even, but that is the core of self-confidence and self-esteem, is honoring the commitments you keep to yourself. And then of course comes with that is honoring the commitments that you make to others. And that's how you feel good about yourself, is when you start keeping these commitments. So yeah, guys, that's about all I've got to say about that. Loving the journey. This has been a good experience. I'm so glad I did it. I'm going to look a little bit more into the program for fitness. I mean, not for fitness, but for nutrition this week. I'm going to get a little bit more stricter. I'm going to start adding some stuff. I kind of have a rough guideline now, because when I started this, I had no clue. I don't even know if I could get 200 grams of protein, but that seems to be pretty easy. My biggest problem is the fats, and a couple days I've hit where I need to be on the fat, and a couple days I've went over. So, or a few days I've went over, but so far that's good. So I'm going to start dialing in the nutrition this week. I'm going to start doing be a little bit more active in the mornings. Kind of been slacking a little bit just because I didn't want to be completely wore out by the end of the day with these workouts. Didn't want to overdo it, because I know these workouts are going to be a beast. And maybe that's an excuse that I'm making, I don't know. But I kind of slacked off on my morning routine. So I'm getting back on my morning routine, because I know what these workouts are going to be now. And I do feel myself getting a little tight, just kind of drawed up, right? So that's one of the reasons I like to stretch, do yoga, whatever in the mornings. It's because it helps keeps that balance. Because I've worked out and done strength training before in the past, but I always get to the point where I feel so tight and drawn up that I don't like the way it feels, and I don't want to feel like that. So I end up kind of falling off the program, and I'm probably never going to just stretch unless I've got something leading me through it. So that's the reason I kind of like the yoga. But flexibility is a big part of this. You know, I don't care to be the biggest guy in the world. It's not my plan, but I would like the mobility of, you know, like a cage fighter. When you see it, like a UFC fighter, when you see them walk into the ring, like that's the mobility I want. And you know, it doesn't matter how big you are if you're not mobile. It doesn't matter. And maybe size is not your thing. Size is not necessarily my thing, but one of the reasons I'm focused on size is because I've spent years trying to get down below where my natural body weight is kind of rested. And granted, it may be a little high based on just diet and other things, but you know, I've been average around 230, give or take 10 pounds for probably 230 pounds for the last, as long as I can remember, I guess my adult life, right? Mid-20s, early mid-20s. So it's kind of been consistent, and I spent years trying to get down below that, but my natural build, you know, is more muscular, kind of stocky on the muscular size. So I tried, and I wanted to get down to, you know, 190s, somewhere around there, which is plenty doable. I could do it, but it just seemed like such an uphill battle because I spent years, and that was kind of my ideal, and I was so far from it. But then I got to thinking, I was like, well, you know, my natural build, obviously around this is a comfortable place for me around this weight, because it's been consistent. It's been up and down, but you know, it's been consistent. I lose weight, just kind of come back. So whether it's my diet choices or whatever, but it is a natural place. So I guess I finally came to the conclusion of, instead of trying to you know, kill myself to get down to this place where it's probably not going to be realistic for me to maintain unless I stay really strict about everything, why not play to my strengths where I'm at? Because realistically, there's guys at 170, 180, 190 that are killing themselves trying to get up to where I'm at, and this is where my natural resting state is. I'm 5'9", 230 pounds. You know, I've got a lot of fat in the midsection, just core, you know, chest and stomach area, but my legs are solid, my arms are pretty solid. But you know, there's guys that's killing themselves and spending years to get up to where I'm at, and here I am killing myself to get down to where they're at. And I was like, this is crazy. Why not just play to my strengths and see what happens? So that's kind of where I'm at with this, and that's the reason I'm doing that. My goal is probably, I think I set this in January, so at the end of January, so I've got what, 9 months left. It's the end of April, so yeah, whatever that comes out to be, 9 months, I guess. But my goal is to be at 220, be above 225 and 15% body fat. So ideally, I'd like to try to get around 235 and be around 15% body fat, but we'll see. That's kind of big, but we'll see. Like I said, it's right in that range where I've been at. So, you know, and I may not make it there. I may end up being below 225, but that's the goal. I definitely don't want to get too much bigger than 235, 240, but we'll see what happens. But it's one of those things. I just cut weight, cut back protein, and lose some of the mass. But that's where we're at this week. Coming in, going to be playing with the diet, adding some more leafy greens, some salads, probably 2 salads a day. We're going to be adding into some yoga, some stretching in the morning, some light stuff in the mornings, just kind of get some activity going in the mornings. And yeah, just continue to focus on the diet. I'm going to get stricter on the diet. I'm going to stick to the diet a lot stricter now that I've kind of got an idea. I'm probably going to get some chicken breast or something today and pre-cook them up so I can throw those on a salad and kind of use just a quick chicken salad for a snack to kind of be protein and get some more veggies in, and just playing around with that. But that's where I'm at. So you guys like, subscribe, follow, whatever it is you do, go find us. You can find us on energytoconquer.com. You can go follow us there. There's not a whole lot there right now, depending on when you're seeing this, but we're getting ready to load it up. So you guys have a blessed day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. It's going to be day 8, and we're going to be back on the grind. We're going to be doing the next week of workout. So we've done week 1. It's a 4-week program. It's going to be starting week 2, and yeah, see you guys tomorrow.